From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here, direct and live from Santa Monica, California, with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. Breaking news and incredible great news, as that RECON will be passed by the House of Representatives this week as early as tonight, if not tomorrow. That House vote will solidify the passage of a fourth stimulus RECON that will, on the House side, that'll pay you a lot of money, with or without a CBO report. How much money? A lot of it. There are checks in this RECON that'll pay you on average about $15,000. I'll go over all that in this incredible recording. But the great news as we go into a midday today is that you should not be sitting around and watching what date the RECON is passed in the House or the Senate, because guess what? Third stimulus has $45,000 in average in there to pay you. The average view of this channel has gotten $45,000 from third stimulus, and you can get your bills paid today. How? I'm going to explain it to you in this video. I got a lot of money to show you in this video. Then we turn to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven across the board. We turn to that big COLA raise and fifth stimulus coming right after that. We got some breaking news about sirloin. We got frame wars. We got that and more. We got a big noontime recording. And this is deliciousness, because guess what? The weather is cooling off. The Santa Claus is getting ready. The surf is getting high. And all we need is just some Rudolph, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Oh, we also need some stimulus, and I got that for you starting right now. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're doing well and hope the weather is good where you are. Along the coast, it's getting a little bit cool again, but it ain't cool in Congress, because the House is going to pass your wonderful fourth stimulus RECON this week, as early as today, as early as tomorrow. That vote is solidified. We are done with the House side. Whether or not we have a CBO report, no worries across the board. The fourth stimulus, that's fourth, will pay you on average about $15,000. Are there checks on the fourth stimulus? There are. That'll pay you about $15,000. I'm going to show you how to get all these multiple checks in this incredible RECON about $15,000. But you don't have to wait for those. I can get you upwards of about $45,000 right now. Average video of this channel has gotten $45,000 of checks under third stimulus, and I'm going to show how how to get your bills paid in today's recording today. Then we're going to turn to some student loan debt forgiveness, those details as well, and then fifth stimulus coming in January. And then surprising breaking news about sirloin, and also frame wars. I mean, you can't go an hour without some more frame wars. And with that, I'm excited you're here. We got a big, fun, educational, and very informative video. And this is LALATE, America's most talked about financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, like right now, and taped in the afternoons. Coming up right after this is the 1 o'clock afternoon show. This video will automatically take you there. Then a big 3 o'clock afternoons LALATE show, and then a big 5 o'clock evening's LALATE show. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers at 140 million views, a YouTube record. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Let's go right into this RECON and explain to you what I'm covering in this video. First, we'll go over the RECON broadly and the $15,000 of multiple checks you can get in this incredible RECON. Then we go over the voting process for the passage of the House. Then we go over each of these checks one at a time, so you can take notes and know what they are and learn about each of these checks. Then we'll take a step back to third stimulus to get your bills paid today. Yes, today. I got a lot of money for you. A lot of it under third stimulus, and then we go over student loan debt and fifth stimulus. We got a big recording. So let's start with this incredible fourth stimulus RECON. Wow, it's such a game changer. So many checks in this RECON that'll pay you on average about $15,000 in this incredible RECON. They have 3 clusters and 3 add-ons. So far, 2 of the add-ons are in there. Let's go over these checks that make up at least $15,000 for you, and here we go. Cluster number 1, hazard pay and $4,000 of elder care. Hazard pay, that is that earned income tax credit, back-end check deliciousness. Then they got the $4,000 of elder care. That is a front-end check, and it's great. They got $4,000 of front-end checks for also the children's caring. They got in there the Pell Grant front-end check, $550 for my college students. big surprise, one of the best provisions in this is the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Front end check. Wow. They got in there, the CTC, one more year about that. The child tax credit front end, and that is about $3,600. And then they got in there the $12,500 back end check for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. Wow. Everything in that first cluster survived and is going to be passed in the House of Representatives. Also going to be passed is the first add-on. That is money to go buy a house. Excuse me? Did he say money to go buy a house? Yes, they put in there free money to go buy a house. Came from the wonderful Maxine Waters. She won $25,000. It will be a little bit less, and yes, it'll be free money to go buy a house. How do you get this money? Stay with me. I cover it later in this video. I cover all these checks later in the video. Here we go, the second cluster of items that are going to be passed, and they are paid family leave front-end check, then pre-kindergarten front-end check, the home tax credit back-end check, and then the home repairs. The home repairs, which is, in this case, weatherizing your home. You need to weatherize your home. If you've been on social media today, you should see lots and lots of videos of Joe Manchin driving, again, the awful color of a Maserati. And you know what that Maserati runs on? It's not electric, obviously, because it's Joe Manchin. It's not gasoline. It's coal. And if it drives up to the driveway, lock the gate because you weatherize a home. Definitely need to weatherize your home in case the coal-driven Maserati comes knocking on the door. Let's go the second add-on. It comes from the wonderful Senator Bob Casey, and that is that provision of $250 billion for seniors on disabilities and home health care. It's going to be a little bit less. Bob Casey got the wonderful provision in there of free home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. Wow. That's detailed later in this video. Stay with me. Let's go to the third cluster of checks, and here comes the deliciousness we got in there. Free school meals for all checks. We got cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform in there as well. Farmers. Then free internet believed to be in there. The independent contractors believed to be in there. And then the Medicare expansion. 2 items in there on the House side, and 3 coming from the Senate side. What are the 2 House side ones? They are the Medicaid gap fix on the House side, and also the hearing aid. The Senate side will add the dental and the vision, says Bernie, and also the lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Which brings us to our third add-on, and that is MSC, which stands for multiple stimulus check, IRS, or monthly IRS stimulus check. What's important to look at when we're talking about that is the advocacy and also the Senate side. The senators were the representatives that said they're going to put it in there, and they have that opportunity. The House bill has no MSCs in there. When it lands in the Senate can do it. First in vote-a-rama, second during Senate subcommittee. And the 6 senators are the 2 C's, the 2 W's, and the 2 S's. Sanders, Schumer, Warren, Wyden, Casey, Coons. I've told thousands of viewers of this channel over the last few months that they're going to insert it when it lands on the Senate side. Lynn Glenn, longtime viewer of this channel, called up one of those 6 senators this week and was told again it's going in there. What are the numbers we've always been told by those senators? The senators tell us $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter for 6 months. Single individual would get a check, married $70,000 or less, married couple $150,000 or less, double it, family of 4 for quadruple it, and if you're on SSI or SSDI or seniors or adult dependents, you would qualify as well. Again, not in the House bill yet, and then potential to put in on the Senate side during vote-a-rama or during the Senate subcommittee. What's important for you is you need to advocate because they are now getting this body of legislation as early as tonight, as early as tomorrow, but by the end of the week. And then the senators start to make the changes and add provisions in there. And those provisions are important, but also important is your time management. You don't want to be using MSC as a way to pay your bills. You want to use third stimulus. And third stimulus is going to be featured in the second half of this video, how to use the incredible money under third stimulus. Upwards of $45,000 available under third stimulus to pay your bills. You want to get that money done, and how do you do it? It's coming up in the second half of this video. Also coming up in the second half of this video is that big deal. That big deal on the fourth stimulus, the vote on the fourth stimulus coming as early as later today, and the Congressional Budget Office report. What happened to that thing? I'll explain the latest on that one. And then we'll be going over all these incredible checks under fourth stimulus that pays you about $15,000. We'll be turning also to student loan debt forgiveness, and then fifth stimulus, We have a breaking news report about sirloin, and then we have frame wars as well. Whoa, we got a big second half of this video. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds, but first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now at noontime, live on air, direct from Santa Monica, California, with the continuation of your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. A House deal is done, and that vote on that recon will happen as early as tonight, but as late as the end of this week, with or without the Congressional Budget Office report. The latest details on these checks. Get that pen and paper ready, because there's multiple checks in this recon that'll pay you on average about $15,000, but no time or place to be waiting for fourth stimulus, because third stimulus is paying today. It's been paying for months, and it's paying the viewers of this channel on average $45,000. Yes, you want this money. I'll show you how to get this money in the second half of this video. Then we turn to the big money across the board that is being proposed by the President of the United States under that student loan debt forgiveness. $10,000 of it. What's going to go on? I have the latest details. Then we turn to fifth stimulus and also the big exciting details about sirloin and frame wars. Boy, we got a big second half. I'm excited you're here. And this, my friends, is LALATE, America's most talked about financial news channel, America. Live in the morning like right now and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoon show. This show takes you automatically there. Then the 3 o'clock afternoon show, brand new, and the 5 o'clock evenings LALATE, totally brand new. So subscribe, like this video, and consider becoming a member. Here we go. Exciting details as the vote will be called on that recon. Fourth stimulus recon as early as today, but by the end of the week. The deal was solidified by Nancy Pelosi over a week ago, and the deal was the moderate Democrats would vote in favor of the recon, barring any qualification whatsoever. That deal is that there will be a positive vote, and the vote will be likely, in my prediction, potentially be Thursday night, 11 o'clock at night, because you know she loves that, which is about 8 o'clock on the West Coast. They were supposed to be waiting for that CBO report, but it's unlikely to be released, and the great news is the moderate Democrats don't really care about it anymore. Moderate Democrats say we have enough assurances from Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, the White House, the President, and his Chief of Staff that assures us that the recon is fully paid for. The recon has lots of checks for you, multiple checks in there that pay on average about $15,000. And how you get these checks? You get that pen and paper ready. That's how you do it. And we're going to go over them right now. And here we go. The first checks in this incredible recon are paid leave and family leave. Paid leave and family leave refers to the following event. You have to stay home from work because of illness or death, or the birth of a new child, someone in the household. Big element here is stay home from work. So let's say you don't work. Doesn't matter if you live with your son or daughter and they have to stay home from work because they have to take you to the doctor. They get the money for the household. That's why you need to listen to this so you tell your son and daughter this is where the big payout is coming. How much does it pay? A fortune. $1,700 if you make $70,000 or more per year approximately. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year. And $400 a week If you make $15,000 or more per year, how many weeks? Up to 4 weeks. Wow, that's a lot. So that's $6,000 on the high end. And then the best part is the eligibility. Everyone, all income levels, and all types of workers. So if you make 200,000, if you make 10,000, if you're a W-2 or you're 1099, you're getting it. Wow. The second wonderful check in this recon is the coverage issue or the benefit issue called the SALT caps. Currently, when you want to go over your federal tax return to deduct how much you paid in state taxes, you can only deduct $10,000 of what you pay in state taxes. No longer the case. Under this recon, you'll now be able to deduct on your federal tax return up to $72,500 of what you pay in state and local taxes. They got in there $40 billion of free job training. Really good for my seniors, because guess what? Under fifth stimulus, they're going to say you can go back to work and still stay on benefits. You don't have to work full time, just a few hours here and there. And now they'll give you free job training. They got the Medicaid gap fix. Great for insurance viewers that have always wanted to get cheaper insurance. Can't. Now, what is this? In the 12 Republican governor states, there's 12 holdout states where they refuse to pay for Obamacare. The workaround plan in this recon will provide years of subsidized private insurance to low-income uninsured people in those states. Wow. Which brings us to the big housing assistance in this recon. $150 billion of housing aid is in the fourth stimulus recon. This is rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, repairs of the home, weatherizing a home, and purchase price of that first home. Sound familiar? Yes. Some of these provisions are from third stimulus, repeated in fourth stimulus. But here is where we're refocusing. No time and place to look to fourth stimulus for an MSC, for example, to pay for rent or utilities. You get that money today. And where? Third stimulus. The average viewer of this channel has been paid $45,000 from third stimulus. It is still paying out. It is paying out this week. People have heard this new subject matter coming back on this channel. Not a new subject matter, but returning subject matter. And they have gotten checks this week. I'm very happy about how people have really turned their lives around in just the last few days. Let's go over the details. Get that pen and paper ready. We are going over rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, food, clothing, small repairs, small appliances, and similar items. Before we start, here's the broad scope. You qualify. You qualify. Go get the money. You qualify under all circumstances, whether you are rich or poor. Your state is rich or your state is poor. You are not behind on your bills. You are behind on your bills. You are elderly. You're young. You're disabled. You're not disabled. You work. You don't work. You qualify. And it starts with the big sums of money, which are rent. Let's look at that graphic about rent. It was about 3 months ago. This was the graphic of rent. And guess what happened? When it went from 20 to 30,000 3 months ago, it has now grown up to about 40,000. How did it grow so much? One, viewers have become more sophisticated by watching the videos of this channel. Number two, they have gotten multiple rounds because you can get multiple rounds. Number three, they have learned my messaging to get the money from multiple locations. All right, here are the 6 places you get the money from. Get ready. You're going to reach out to the following 6 places: City Hall, City House Authority; County Hall, County House Authority; State Hall, State House Authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Couple things to know. Number one, you must, M-U-S-T, must reach out to all 6. Do not reach out to one, get a no, and call it a day. That's not how it does, how it works. You must reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. If one says no, reach out to the other ones. Number two, apply everywhere. If you got one application on file in one place, that's not sufficient. Apply everywhere. Number three, you can get rent from multiple places at the same time. So don't just get rent from one place and then do the same application, the same approach if you're looking for mortgage assistance. Utilities. Here we go. So utility assistance, these were the numbers about 3 months ago. The numbers have gone much higher now. They're upwards of 18,000, but they're likely to go higher. Why? You want to get the utilities from as many companies as you have. Don't reach out to just one utility company. A new CPI number released last week, Consumer Price Index, showed that the price of heating oil has gone up 59.1% year to date. So these numbers are going to go up higher. Get those utility bills right now. Remember when we're talking about utilities of food, they not only go backwards, but they also go forward many months. SNAP, food. You should not be paying for your own food. If you qualify for stimulus check, you qualify for SNAP. How do you get it? Department of Agriculture. How much does it pay? A fortune. These are the numbers 3 months ago. They're now upwards of $25,000. Mark's brother-in-law is now getting $25,000 a year, which over 10 years is going to be $250,000 from this channel. Get that money. It's from Department of Agriculture. Next, get combo items. Here was the combo graphic a few months ago. Mark at the time had 2 items. Niecy had 3. Nancy had 3. Mark with 2 items at $32,000. I addressed him on air. I said, Mark, go get the other sums of items. Get a 3rd item. And he did. This is what happened when Mark got a 3rd item. He went to $50,000. That's not Mark today. Mark is nearly at $100,000 because he continues to get items every few days. Here's Lorraine. She was then $105,000. She's now at $120,000. This is what you can do. When I say average of $45,000, many viewers have gotten over $100,000 because they've gotten multiple rounds. They keep on applying. They keep on getting money, and they keep on pushing. Here comes the example of Johnny. Johnny was a viewer who started viewing this channel on a Monday 1 week with 2 other viewers. They don't know each other. And by the middle of the week, they had all gotten 3 items approved at $45,000. Johnny didn't stop there. He kept on pushing. The other 2 people did. Johnny kept on calling. And by the end of the week, how many programs did Johnny get approved from? 7. 7. He started this week at 0 and he ended the week at 7. Now, what's important about that 7 is that Johnny must have called at least 15 places because you don't get 100% winning every single time you call. He had to have called 15 places in 5-6 days. How much money to get? $80,000. Wow. It shows you that making those phone calls work. The second part is Johnny's story I love dearly. He reached out to his family members the following Monday. He said, I found this kid on YouTube, LALATE. He's the real deal. Oh, what happened? I got $80,000. From what? Third stimulus. That's that $1,400 stimulus check. There's no other money in third stimulus except $1,400. I saw it on local news and broadcast news and cable news and print news. He said, stop watching them. They don't cover the subject matter. And that's the case. You don't see on broadcast, print media, cable news, local news, anything about this 3rd stimulus or this 4th stimulus. They never covered 2nd stimulus and they never covered 1st stimulus either. They're not there to cover these subject matters. They don't cover them. No time to go on a search engine to look up whether there's a check. No time to to look up a junk newspaper to see whether there's a this or the that. I cover it here. I cover every single check. These are lots of checks, and you need to learn from the checks. That's what Johnny did. He told his family members they were disbelievers. They ended the week as believers, and they each ended the week with $50,000 in their hands. You can be the next Johnny. And with that, let's go back into 4th stimulus now, where we left off with that housing aid, because guess what? The housing provisions we just went over are in 4th stimulus, and there's other housing provisions in there, and they are weatherizing your home. That is likely for all types of homes, not just low income. And then we have the low income home repairs. This is a grant potentially, comes directly to you. And finally, the first time home purchases, first time and single family home. We'll see how it works as soon as it becomes closer to finish for law. They have $150 billion of home health care for seniors and people on disabilities. They have a $550 check from my Pell Grant recipients. This is a front end check. And then $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle. This is new at noontime. I went around and looked this up and researched it myself, and I realized there's a problem with this provision. The problem with the provision is it's $12,500 for an electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured, that's made in the U.S. And the problem is at the moment there's only one, the Chevy Volt. That may change quickly with the Lightning by Ford, which is that F-150 pickup, and the Lyric by Cadillac. But at the moment, there's very, very few electric U.S.-made cars in union shops in the U.S. Hopefully, either they'll change the wording of this or get more cars made here. $65 a month for a child when they're not in school for food. Which brings us to one of the best provisions in this RECON. It is the cheaper medication. Wow. This is huge. Over 20 years, Medicare has not been able to negotiate the price of medication because that was how they were established. And Big Pharma was barely sticking them with the price. No longer the case. How is it going to work? On day one, 20 medications will go under good faith negotiations and be slashed dramatically. For example, Medicare recipients now pay upwards of about $1,000 for an insulin dose. It will now be $35 a dose. This will start with 20 medications in year 2021 and then grow to 30 medications by 2028. The Medicare pricing cannot increase more than the rate of inflation, or they will be penalized, Big Pharma, and these are big expensive medications slashed dramatically, like cancer, diabetes, and arthritis. That penalty provision, however, is a topic of discussion and will be a topic of discussion by the Senate parliamentarian. The Senate parliamentarian will determine whether it has to come out. Senator Pat Toomey, Republican, is one of many Republican senators who says there's a lot of stuff in this recon that may not pass the Senate parliamentarian. He's putting that up, and he's going to put other provisions up. What else is in jeopardy? The immigration reform. I think it's coming out. She previously ruled immigration reform cannot be in the recon. And also on jeopardy is the paid leave. Now, is this recon going to be bigger than this? Absolutely. You understand that there was $45,000 on average that viewers got from third stimulus. All that money is repeated again in a fourth stimulus, so this number is probably undervalued. And guess what? This is just the House bill. The senators are adding other checks in there they represent. Bernie Sanders says the best bill since the 1960s. I got to add a lot of other stuff. What is he adding? He's adding dental and vision, at least, an eligibility age for Medicare. Then we have Ron Wyden, who says it's not done to the Senate Acts, and he says a lot to go in there. We have Schumer, we have Coons, and we have Casey, and we also have Murphy, all saying they're adding provisions in there. All right, so get that pen and paper ready, because we got some other checks for you right now. And here we go. We got in there pre-kindergarten for 3 to 4-year-olds, 1 year front-end check. We got the child care back-end covered check. We got the earned income tax credit for my essential workers back-end. We got the CTC, the child tax credit front-end. And then we have the home health care for my people who are seniors and people on disabilities. That's a covered benefit. But the hearing aid may likely just be a check. We already went over the rent and the housing. We went over the $550 Pell Grant check. And we did the $65 per month for kids not in school. So then what provisions are getting added potentially on the Senate side besides the push to put a MSC in there? Bernie says dental, vision, and lowering the eligibility age of Medicare. Lowering the eligibility age of Medicare, well, that is very important. Bernie sees it currently at 65. He wants it down at 55. Bob Casey wants it at 60. Then dental. Dental, Bernie wants at 10 years of full benefits. It was reduced to 5 years of full benefits, or 3 years of full benefits. And the last time it was on the recon, it was a check until it was removed. It was an $850 check. Not a lot, but at least it's a start. And that is dental. Which brings us to the big question then, what about vision? A vision, I know that Bernie has said he wants an eye exam and a pair of frames every year. But the question is, what type of frames? What type of frames? And how would those frames? Well, what Bernie's approach to the subject matter is that he wants to give you a frame and a prescription once per year. And I said, hey, $50 for a pair of frames at Costco and $100 for $50 for an eye exam, $100 for frames, at a nice shop. Well, that caused a big scandal all across the country, all across the land. The controversy, the debates, it became not color race. It became frame wars, as viewers have said, that's not enough. I get more expensive frames than that. It started several days ago when one person was in the live chat. She said her daughter buys her frames every year, $450 frames. I said, you're not getting $450 frames. My daughter pays them $450 frames. I said, Medicare is not going to Fendi to buy your frames. They're not going to Gucci, and this is not the house of Gucci, and I'm not nominated for an Oscar, at least not yet. They are not going to Paris, France to buy your frames at $450 a frame. And they're not going to Paris, Kansas either. Now, Frame Wars episode 3 heated up today as one person on social media sent me a serious message, very serious, that said, tell Bernie, tell Bernie, we need better frames in this recon. I get bifolds, and I get a special tint of the lens, and I get a special, translucent where it changes from dark to light. That's $1,000. Tell Bernie $1,000 frames, LA. I won't tell Bernie because you can tell Bernie. Because guess what? Here, my friends, is Frame Wars. And there you go, Frame Wars. There's very opinionated people. We do not see eye to eye. They do not see eye to eye. And they just believe that Bernie should do MSFs. Multiple seductive frames per month. Every month, a brand new frame comes in the mail. I got to have a different frame for a different color of the month. And it's just, that's how I do it. So, I do not see Bernie doing $1,000 frames. And I think on tomorrow's channel, on tomorrow's Frame Wars, I think we'll be at $2,000 frames. We will see, but this is far from over. If you have a commentary about your frames and whether it's serious or humorous, and sometimes I can't figure it out which one it is, send it to me on social media. I may feature on tomorrow's recording, which brings us back into that fourth stimulus recon. Some of the provisions in this fourth stimulus recon also don't make sense, and they are the CTC. I show it at $60,000 or less, and then I show the money for home health care and also the money for the housing a little bit more across the board. Student loan debt forgiveness. Let's turn over to student loan debt forgiveness. The Democrats have a big offer, and the offer is $10,000. The Democrats should take it. The president's offered $10,000 student loan debt forgiveness by executive order. It would be done overnight. He forgave student loan debts for people who became disabled, people who went to work in the nonprofit sector, and people who went to work in the public sector. They should take it. Your COLA raise is good, but not enough. Your benefits are going to go up 5.9% next year, but that ain't enough. What's COLA? COLA is a benchmark, and COLA is a very bad benchmark. It doesn't move. It stayed the zero for a gazillion years. So your benefits have been left behind. You were undervalued pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, and now after the pandemic. So whether you want to do on a fifth stimulus, they first want to raise your benefits up a lifetime. They want to apply a new benchmark, and that new benchmark is inflation. How does this work? Well, they first want to raise your benefits up to get you caught up. Then every December, starting next year, 2022, they'd apply a benchmark of inflation, which is going to be 3%. So every time you step up, you never step down. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. Finally, you haven't become a member. What are you doing? Become a member. The membership link is under the video, and get that newsletter. It comes out Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time via the YouTube alert system and the LALATE alert system. It features the big money under first, second, and third stimulus for you to get. When you look at Johnny, Mark, and also Nisi and all these other viewers, they have gotten big sums of money by getting that newsletter, reading it, and learning it, and then applying it. Not defaulting to the volunteers. The volunteers don't have trees in the backyard with money growing on it. The volunteers are there to help when you make the effort and you can't figure it out. Use that newsletter. There's a lot in the newsletter. It starts with the 6 places you reach out to, the keywords you say, the 5 nonprofits to lean on for eligibility, and also other things like clothing and small home repairs, like a broken window, appliances across the board. And then it features the statement from Treasury about the additional cash infusion for that rent that just recently went out. Get that newsletter. Comes out 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tonight, and consider becoming a member. And with that, let's go into the final minutes of this video with my commentary and a surprise about sirloin. My commentary today, a lot of it, and wow, what a day it is. First, we've learned the importance of getting money, and I'm very excited how you have really changed in just a few days. It was last Saturday where I saw a big concern because I sensed no one was getting money from third stimulus. And I saw some of the comments. The comments were the following. They need to pass fourth stimulus so I can pay my rent. I said, wait a second. There's rent assistance on the third stimulus. And so quickly, I brought this back really hard. Needless to say, even then, even yesterday, and even expected today, you're going to see around you, either in the live chat or at the street corner or on the phone with a friend, DNQs. There are DNQs everywhere. There's the people who say, I do not qualify. They do qualify. They just don't want to do the effort. They just want to believe in their altered universe that don't qualify. There was someone on Mornings LA today says, I don't qualify because I'm a dependent on my son's tax return. I can't even say it with a straight face because it means nothing. Why that doesn't disqualify you, but that's what they do. So my job not to record for the DNQs. I'm not here to record for the DNQs. The DNQs will be left behind in society because they have created their altered universe and they don't want to make the effort. I'm recording for the people who want to learn, for the people who want to take the information and apply the information. You need rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgages. You need these bills paid. I can get those bills paid. When you look across the landscape of your bills you have per month, there's a certain number of bills. Let's say there's 10 bills. And of those bills, maybe one of them is the car and one of them is the roof on the house. I don't have stimulus for the car and I don't have stimulus for the roof under that currently law. I don't have that. But I certainly have those other bills. And those other bills you should get paid right now, and not paid just retroactively, but also forward. Because when they're paid forward, then you don't have to spend that money. Imagine you don't have to pay money for rent last month, the month before, this month, next month, the month after that. Imagine how much money this is. For example, Tyrone, his family of four, got $15,000. I think it was $15,000 over 4 months. So immediately he freed up $15,000 of his bills over the next few months. That freeing up of that money allows you to then go fix the car, go fix the roof. Because when you have bills that are paid for by the federal government, then suddenly you freed up money for other items. You shouldn't be paying for your food if you qualify for SNAP. You shouldn't be paying for your rent if you qualify for rent. Ultimately, you qualify for this money. Go get the money. What's important to understand is that the refocusing has worked. We were looking at a situation over the weekend that was unknown, and I sensed it wasn't good. I sensed there was people not looking to third stimulus. So I reached out to one of the volunteers. I said, how many requests for help are you getting per day? 0 in 3 days. What? Normally, we would do 16 a day. So went from 16 a day to 0 in 3 days. Today, it's at 9. So that shows you the big turnaround time. Now, it does not mean you should be lean on the volunteers. It means that you should only default to volunteers when you have issues. But Johnny's example that I use on this channel is imperative for you to follow. Why? Because he kept on calling. Mark was $32,000 for a week or 2 weeks, and then he went to $50,000, and then a month or two later he went to $100,000. This shows you the perseverance. People send me messages, continue to send me messages on private message, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you got money this week, I'll feature it live on air. I've had people just say, I started the day this week. I started the day at 0. I've got $500 from just watching your video. That's what we do here. This is what we do. I'm very excited for you. Also very excited for you is a surprise to even me. It's Sirloin. Now, Sirloin is coming back with new shows in a few days, but when looking through to prepare for tonight's shows, I did not know that there were other Sirloin shows that had been taped before that had never re-aired. So, starting tonight, you're going to see Sirloin shows that have never re-aired. Very, very exciting. It's so exciting that there's even farmers dancing. And there you go. We got frame wars, we got dancing farmers, we got it all here. We just don't have the waivable check. But that's not the focus. At the moment, your focus should be split between advocating and also collecting. Dedicate your time during the given week to pick up the phone and call the 6 senators. Casey Coons on a Monday, Sanders Schumer on a Tuesday, Warren White on a Wednesday. Oh, I like that. WWW. Then on Thursday, pick up the phone and get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance. Pick up the phone on Friday to get some other sums of money. You want to keep on giving yourself the opportunity to get these sums of money. If you've gotten money before, you're like a Nisi who got $32,000 from the channel on a graphic that's 3 months ago. Get more money again. And Art Sullivan, who got 3 items maybe in the summer. Get more items again. And if you've never got to the money, get it today. If you're on the live chat and you got money, post it because you inspire people. That's the spirit. That's the spirit of the holiday season, helping other people, inspiring other people. Meantime, I'm excited for you with all the shows coming up later today. We have a big afternoon show at 1 o'clock coming up next. This video will automatically take you there. Then at afternoons LA, brand new at 3 o'clock, and then in evenings LA at 5 o'clock. And then the new return of that sirloin show later tonight at 8. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers of YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like this video and consider becoming a member. Stay informed, stay focused, and have a beautiful noontime. And stay with LA for more.